Okay, in this video I'm going to talk with you about where to run your hose and what might be the safest way. Traditionally, because most window cleaners use water-fed poles with the tube running internal, then as a rule we run our hose behind the work zone. But actually, usually it's in the work zone. So when you're cleaning, if you look at my feet now, you can see that I've got my foot touching the hose here, or maybe just touching on the hose there. This one's a little bit inconvenient. If you stand on this hose here, then actually the water flow can stop, but it's only for a split second anyway, so it's no consequence. But the key issue is that this, from an OH&S point of view, or a health and safety point of view, is really inconvenient, because instead of your focus being up there on the glass, your brain is also paying some attention as to what is it under my foot. And after window cleaning, if you're at level 3, level 4, you start to get tired after a couple of hours, all of a sudden you really need all your attention up there. And so we do not recommend this style of laying of the hoses. So wait there, and I'm going to rearrange it, and I'm going to show you another way. Yeah? And from that way you can make a choice as to which way suits you best. Okay, so before we had the hose running along here, in a sense behind the worker in the work zone, and that's where the hose was and the tube. Now, if you have a look what I've done now, I've rearranged it and I've run it along the face of the building. In this case we've got planters and trees and curbs, but whichever way you do it, if you run it along the face of the building, then it's completely out of the work zone. However, if you insist on having the tube internal to the pole, then this thin tube, whichever style it is, has to come in behind you, and again it's going to be under your feet. It's a smaller hose, so it's less risky, but it's under your feet. So what we recommend, and it is up to you, but from a safety point of view, we recommend that we do this. Disconnect the internal tubing, and you'll see me do this. This is the way we prefer to lay our tubes out. I can just tie this off so that the internal tube is still available inside the pole, and I can reconnect it at any time, but now I've got an external tube. Okay, so the internal we can poke down there so that it's out of the way. Now I'm running with an external tube. Now, if you watch what I can do now, I can actually run all of that tube down in the work zone in front of me. So it's no longer and not capable of ever getting under my feet. So I'm going to pull that up now. You would have heard that brass fitting pull into the pole. And now the reason we're doing this over trees is because we know what the objections are. The first thing anybody says if we say run the tube external is, oh, what about trees? Right? So what better place to demonstrate than over trees? Now, you have a look underneath my feet now. I can now clean these windows. Yeah, I don't have anything under my feet. If I did touch something that was unusual under my feet, I would immediately know that I have some safety issue that I should take my attention from the brush and check that I'm actually safe. And that's the reason we like running an external tube. Now, you'll see that actually we're not having a lot of problems with the tree, but what we teach is this. If you want to take control of an external tube, all you do is just roll the brush a couple of times round, and now I have that tube away from the building. Now I'm not going to be silly here. If you're really going to push it through a lot of trees, internal tubing is far better. If you're going to push it through branches and then pull it back down and then move across and push it through branches, but if it's just normal shrubs, or if you're just doing a commercial face of a building or a residential building, have a go at running the tube externally. It doesn't look as professional compared to the internal tube, but it's much more efficient, much more effective, and actually a lot safer.